Hello, welcome to Z Explains VG. I am Z. We're playing a 5-point match on Backgammon Hub. Starting off with an average sequence, good match to my opponents. So this is wrong. I should definitely be upgrading to the 4-point here rather than splitting into my attack. Double the dance at least. Maybe a bad entry. This is not a bad entry. Okay, so I assume I'm just sort of cleaning everything up, although I could switch to the ace points. I don't really know what it does, though. You know, maybe puts them up on the bar, which is good, but downgrades the point quality and forgoes doing this. So maybe this has a little more going for it. Although I guess conceivably, you know, hitting has some tactical merit. All right, how about this? Because I don't want to jump out into a big double shot out there. So I do some of the escape work. He should probably make the 4 on me. Try to actively contain that back checker while he's down in the race. So that seems like a good play. This is an excellent roll. Last one's a little bad, but I guess this is what I want to do. No, I can just play 7-2. Yeah, this is better, especially considering I might be cubing him next roll. Don't want to give him a chance to get back in the game and stave off the cube, you know. You know, so unless this is too good, this is a pretty strong cube. It's probably a pass with his underdeveloped position, big race deficit. Although on the other hand, he does have the. I guess it'd be a pass if he was on the 20-point. Maybe since he's on the 21, he could justify a take here. In fact, he's glad he took. 7-2 is a little bit more gross now, and he has a blot, so I'm going to try this. Did not work. Shoot, he should probably recube this. All right, I am surviving. Oof, maybe not. Not. So it's either double pass or too good. AK plays on. Okay, can we get it back in this with the hits? Yeah, actually, it's possible. I don't know. Do I have a take there because the race is good? Board's all screwed up though. That hasn't covered yet. Okay, so I assume I'm hitting and covering the ace point. I'm wondering a little bit about jumping out, but that's a lot of shots. So even though I'm a little stuck back there, I guess this is the best plan. And then I jump. No. The slots, maybe? That's probably unnecessary. Get out of there. Oh, this is good. 1, 2, 3. It took me a sec to see this. It's like I knew I could hit him fairly safely, but I didn't see that I made a 5-point board right away. Okay, just rolled a 1. Where's the 5s? There they are. Deuce. Deuce. 6. If I roll 6-6 is a double shot. Weirdly, this is nothing. Yeah, sometimes something to watch out for. Sometimes like you're coming around and like you know, double 6 is not only a shot, but it leaves like 2 blots. So there wasn't really anything I could do about it if I wanted to hit. So I think my play was pretty clear. But sometimes it swings the play. So I mean, I'm always kind of when I'm coming around, I'm always kind of looking to see how big doubles play. So mostly it's second nature to me to notice that stuff. especially when you like close out your opponent and you just kind of bring like the last checkers around. Like typically there's not like a lot of stuff going on there. Though the one thing that's often going on there is whether 6/6 blots or not. So that's sort of the time to that's sort of the best time to pay attention to it. Oh hey Alex, good to see you. You are seeing this match go swimmingly. So far, anyways. So I don't know. I mean, I could hit him, obviously. Probably the right idea. Duplicate 5/6 a little bit. It's a lot of shots, but I mean, if I don't hit him, he yankers, and then I don't really have all that much. So maybe I should try for more. There's not a lot clear though, because you could just make the 4-point say. Slightly, probably fewer shots, and you get a good asset out of it. But you don't hit them though. Yeah, this is not working. I can make my beautiful 11-point. Hit twice. 13 to 10, 6 to 4. Also, pretty. This looks like a cleaner play. All right, I assume I'm hitting here. So don't let him build. That didn't work. Some of these plays are a little tricky. So after that, we'll see what the computer says afterwards. I just didn't like entering with. I know I could enter with a 3, make the 2-point there. I just didn't like the fact that he got to like kind of freely build on the home front. All right, so nothing wrong with this. There's another play where you hit twice. I hate to get hit again. I guess those are the play. I'll make the 2. I think I'd rather play this. Try to make a good point next turn. I mean, it's not good, but everything is kind of bad. At least this sort of tries to escape while I'm usually up in the race. All right, I mean, he has to give up his front anchor. He has to give up his good anchor to hit me here. And I wish to make that point, which I will. Okay. Our race is fairly close now. But I still have the edge because I'm on roll, but only up a pip. Yeah, running off the anchor looks like it gives him too much. Too much attack stuff. Especially because I'm not doing that great in the race. What's he gonna do? It's probably something better than this. Like now I could run with it against the 2 blots. Doesn't look like he has much good attack. On the other hand, getting away with this isn't that good because I'm only up 5 pips. But keeps flexible and keeps a clean position on the home front, so I kind of like it. All right, now I gotta hope to get missed, I guess. Good. It's a little gross over here. I mean, I like the 11-point for blocking, but I kind of don't like the resultant position. So I'm gonna play it a little more flexibly. This looks like a misclick. Good. Okay, so what is this now? I'm up. I'm only up 6 pips. So maybe there's something better here, actually. I can claim his timing is worse because he has the further back point, 18 versus 13. So maybe he has to make some big concession first. It might have been a slightly better play that kept it midpoint also. Yeah, I sort of did this to myself, I guess. now I'm breaking first. Okay. I'm up 6 pips. He's on roll, so I'm not really up that big in the race there. I guess we continue to save a 6, and it's kind of a big swing on most 6s next roll. Yeah, he should. Well, that's slightly wrong, but he should definitely keep a clean board there. Ooh, oh, I saw the 5. I was happy. Shoot. Yeah, I'm kind of interested in some of these checker plays. Cube action has been pretty straightforward, but there's a lot of the checker plays I'm really unsure about. Okay, so it's going to be 4-1 post Crawford, so it should be doubling me right away. And then generally I'll take if I'm winning the game, and pass if I'm losing the game. So this is the double take. Oh, hey Chava, good to see you. Okay, I guess this doesn't look like there's a great play that runs into the outfield, because it's all double shots out there. So might as well make an anchor. It's a lot of good points. Seems like a plan. Could make the 3. Maybe I should hit him though, or I got a safe play also. So I don't know. A 3-point looks like a pretty big point. Because I'm unstacking the heavy 6 and 8, so maybe I can hit him next turn. Yeah, the hitting play looks pretty ugly too. So actually, I'm gonna try this. I'm not sure about this. Obviously, there's lots of different plans. Yeah, at least I duplicated this a little bit. Didn't really think about the score there, but it probably doesn't matter much, because the gamma seems sort of similar. Okay, so you played a dude in UBC format. He took my automatic double at 4-way post Crawford because he said he didn't want to give me all those decisions by delaying the cube at 3-way post Crawford. Huh, interesting. Huh. All right, so what's going on here? So let's see. My race is still fairly close, so I guess I don't want to get fancy. So the idea is like if you get more decisions if it's like 1-away, 3-away post, and then you don't double over and over again. For like lower your PR because you're getting all these decisions right or close to right. There's some. I mean, I'm sure there's something like that going on, but isn't there? XG doesn't count like every decision as a decision. Like if it's close, it won't count it. But I'm not sure what the details is on post. I'm not sure what the details are on post Crawford doubling though. Like you might not actually be lowering your PR by like not doubling in those situations. But I'm not totally sure of the details. Yeah, up to a full point. Okay, it sounds like you have a good handle on what's going on there. Yeah, I kind of didn't realize that. I mean, I knew it. I kind of figured it counted like in GNU PR, but I wasn't sure about XG PR, which has like these heuristics for what to count as a decision or not. Like for instance, if a checker play, if all checker plays are like super close, like it won't count the checker play as a decision, for instance. Hmm. I see. All right. Well, he's got at least a few blotters, like 6-5. So maybe I don't want to leave a blot in my board here. This looks okay at least. Well, I'm a little scared to be gammoned here. Could have saved it. Actually, I could have saved a 4-1 last turn. Although maybe 3-2 would have cracked. It's pretty. I don't know. Am I really getting gammoned here if I split? I don't know. I guess you could argue. I mean, I don't think it's true, but it's arguable that Wiz wins a little more. But I think the other one wins a little more. But obviously, I'm paying a few gammons by splitting into the attack. But I'm just saying, like, okay, I'm going to hit more this way, so I could maybe make the case it wins a little more. All right, this is a shot. 6-5. Yeah, it felt like there was something else, but maybe not. Like 6-4 was safe. 5-4 was safe. What about like 5-3? 5-3 was probably a blot number. No, what am I doing? Okay. Yeah, it's probably just 6-5, 5-3. 5-3 is sometimes you gotta look at 5-3 a lot of the times when you're when one guy has a 3-point holding game. Sometimes the 5-3 plays weird. Ah, almost. Yeah, just needed one set there. Okay. Yes. Good. Good technique by the opponents. And then I'm going to just play double match pointish now, because it's double match points. Don't need to worry about the games. I can make, oh, there's all sorts of plays, jeez. Okay, so like one idea is to like make the 3 solidly. So he comes in, and then I still left with the problem, the backman. It's very safe though, very safe. I could make the 7 and the 3. So I can make the 4, I can make the 7 and the 3. I could hit twice, trying to do everything, but if I getting hit back's really bad. Yeah, maybe my gut knows something. This is the first. Prefer losing by 2 sets than 1 set. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like so close. Yeah, the 3-3. Several plays there. I played did a lot though, and it's safe. Alright, I could hit off the 3, but let's escape. Keep the 8 points. Could hit twice. Boy, I don't know, man. I mean, this is pretty solid. Maybe I should just play this game. I mean, this could work. This and hit off the 5 could work. Hopefully, some of these plays are close because I feel like I'm guessing a lot. You know. Hitting twice would have worked. Alrighty. Whew. Yeah, I think I would do this also. I mean, given the score, I guess it makes sense for me to play a little conservatively like I've been doing. But maybe some of that stuff was a little too conservative. or this. I don't want to give him these hits. Make the 7. Yeah, there's just a 1-point board there. So, yeah, I kind of see your point. I'm just against this 1-point board. So you take a little chance. You're saying you take a little chance for like an easier ride home later, before he can put his board together. Yeah, probably would have worked out better. See if he decides to hit me here. He does. I probably would too. Ugh. No. Well, 3s are duplicated everywhere. So maybe this has a lot going for it. Good. I see my 3s are a little duplicated too. Guess that makes sense. Oh, is it this maybe? I'm probably botching this all over the place. I should just cover, I don't know, just enters, and then I probably don't have much. So I kind of do want to hit him, and then make the 8s. Yeah, he's got blots in his position, so maybe I'm not paying huge to getting hit back there. Well, I don't know how I played this, but it seems to be working out. Four plays a little funny. So a little more flexible. 5-5 isn't great though. Let's see, 4-4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess this is okay. So 13-10-4-2 loses the most gammons. It must be the correct EMP play. I see. It's a cute way to look at it. All right, so this is just 4 blot numbers next roll, and I get to clear that top point, so it is safest long term. And then I just win. Good. All right, well, hoping for a 4 PR, but ready to see something worse. Should be some interesting analysis though. See what the computer likes and see what the computer hates there. Kind of agree with you on the 6-3 though. Should have made this 7. I played a 1. Ha! It's funny. I guess right on everything. That's funny. Yeah, no, I wouldn't have been shocked by a 6 there. I want to see how bad. 13-10, 4-2. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the best play when it works. Like, say you know he's going to dance. That's probably what you want to do because you can fill in your stuff. Sorry. So this probably isn't true anymore, but it used to be the rule in backgammon tournaments where like if someone rolled early before you picked up your dice, you would get to keep his dice on the board and make the play that's best for what he rolled, basically. So you can't take back his roll. So that might lead to a situation where you know he's dancing, and so you can play something like 13-10, 4-2 there. And that's probably is the best play if you know he's dancing. Okay, so Z's on the bottom. So what happened here? And only 4 errors, no cue blunders, no checker play blunders. Interesting. This is a good play to know. Some people make it's actually not that bad to make the 7 point with all 4 checkers here, but I think the rollout does prefer this. It comes up fairly frequently, so it's good to sort of know this. And it's sort of good to know it's close also, because let's say, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Maybe this is pretty easy play, maybe. But say you roll 6-5, you roll 6-1, and then you roll 6-6. Because you know it's close when you're giving up your midpoint, you should make your 7 point with 4 checkers there if you have 6 on the mid. So you can pick between this roll or tell your opponent to roll again. I see. Yeah, trying to remember. That might have been the rule. I'm trying to remember. Like nowadays, like when I play for money in Chouettes or whatever, we just simplify things and to keep things friendly. We just play legal moves. I think we were a little before we switched to legal moves, so everyone's obligated to point out in a legal play. The thing that reminds me of what you mentioned is if someone makes an illegal play, the opponent would be able to say, "All right, keep that illegal play," or play a legal one. So so it sort of reminded me of the roll you're talking about, where you could tell your opponent to keep the roll or roll again. I see. Yeah, that makes sense. And then in Chouettes nowadays, if someone rolls early, it just doesn't count. By the Chouette rules we play by in the Boston area. Except we have like exceptions, so like because what happens is like contact's broken or something, it's like a bear off. Like everyone's kind of just rolling quickly because there's no real decisions. So we have a rule where like if the previous move is forced or the contact is broken, early rolls still do count. So I don't know if that's a good rule or not, but that's the rule. That's the rule we play by, and it seems to work out okay. Yeah. It's good to just be very assiduous about following the convention so you don't get screwed by an opponent who's going to like call you on this stuff. Okay, so okay, good. 1-1, yeah, 1-1 is a real error to make the 1 point apparently. I think a lot of people are doing this maybe. This is the play after making the 1 points. Problem is, like, there's no other white blots in the outfield, and he's not very flexible for making new points. So putting up on the bar with this 1-1 isn't really worth a ton. I mean, it's okay. Like, you might roll 6-6 or 6-1 or 1-1 or something, and then you're really happy. Or he rolls 3-1 and you keep him from making a point. So there is some benefit to hitting. Like, if it was a choice between just keeping the 2 point and switching to the ace, you probably would switch to the ace point. It's just that you're up in the race huge, so escaping the guy seems to be worth a lot also. So I thought that was worth more, and the computer emphatically agrees. Right. Yeah, I mean, usually it's a good thing, right? Switching, keeping him busy. It's just, you look at the whole position and it's like, hey, there's some reason to do it, but not a ton of reason to do it. Meanwhile, I really want to get that back guy going. In fact, the computer thinks, okay, you're up in the race. You run out into a double shot into the outfield trying to escape the guy. Maybe you can actually cube a miss. I didn't like the double shot out there, so I took a little bit of a slower approach, which is also fine. 4-3. That's a good play by the opponent. This looks like a good play by me. So 13-8. So obviously you hit off the 10 and then you think about the last one. If I had already doubled, I think there'd be more reason to play 13-8. But because there's like an upcoming cube for me, like I'm probably going to be doubling a bad number, I think there's some merit in reducing the volatility here, so I can guarantee that I get a good cube in next roll, or better, give me a better chance of getting a good cube in. Oh, hey guys, this is Backgammon. I got a little Backgammon stream. I just played a 5-point match on this site, Backgammon Hub, and I'm going over the computer analysis. So if you're not familiar with Backgammon, you should try it out because it's a great game. I mean, it's a good mix of skill and luck. It looks complicated at first, but there's really only like 6 rules or something. So it's kind of an easy game to learn, you know. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So when you get like the boxes of games as a kid, you often have like a chessboard on one side, and then on the other side you have the backgammon board with all the triangles on it, and you have like the checkers. You can use like the checkers from the checkers game to like as the checkers in the backgammon game. Yeah, you should try it out. It's a good game. Anyway, so here I'm thinking mostly about like reducing volatility. So it's possible 13-8's a better cubeless play. Computer doesn't quite think so. It wants to play safe, and then the benefit is one benefit is I get to cube next turn on a bad number. Yeah, pretty solid take still though. Huh. Yeah, it's funny how popular chess is and how not popular backgammon is, like online. Like if you look at Reddit, there's like, the backgammon forum has like 10,000 people subscribed to it, and the chess forum has like a million people or whatever, at least hundreds of thousands of people. But I definitely prefer backgammon, as you might be able to tell. Anyways, I do get a good cube in here. Yeah, up in the race, huge. He's got enough contact to take though. His board is relatively sound. It's going to come together okay, I think. But anyways, I assume I made a good play with the 6-5 here. Yeah, there's not a lot of options. I guess you could play 7-2 here, I guess. With the after hitting with the 6, you can play 7-2, make it a little safer. What I liked about my play is the 3s are duplicated. Right, for instance, like 4-3 you can hit twice, but it's not great to do it because he's foregoing making the 5-point. Or 1-3, 1-3 only hits ones or makes the 5, and he'll just hit me somewhere, probably on the 21. So 5-6. Looks like he might have. Should he have cubed this? Yeah, he should have cubed this. Yeah, I wouldn't have been sure what to do if he had cubed this. I mean, it's a little tricky due to the score because after double take, his gammons aren't super valuable or anything, and he wins a ton of gammons here. But I guess I just don't win this enough to take it. So we missed an opportunity there. And I do come back. Yeah, okay, this is too good. He correctly plays on. Yeah, I'm still kind of dead. Oh, I could actually take this again. Yeah, maybe I would have been able to find this. Although it will roll out to be a little stronger. All right, good play here, hitting cover. I guess most people are doing this. There's like a little temptation to do this, and maybe this would be right or close to right if it was only a single shot out there. But he's got 1s, 3s, and 6-4 that hits me, so it's better to do this other plan where you hit with the ace cover with the 6, hope to escape later. Takes me a while, but I do. I keep him busy. Oh, I slightly wrong. Oh my goodness, yeah. Huh. Is the computer right here? Computer leaves a shot here, weirdly. Like a deadly shot. No, the computer's not right. On higher eval, it likes the normal thing, which I did. And we can put it up on the bar. I mean, everyone's doing this, I think. 5-point board. No shots on my side of the board. At first, the computer liked this thing, leaving a deadly 6 shot. It's close. It's close. I think maybe some of the idea is a cubeful thing. Yeah, I think if cubeless, my play is much better. What the computer is saying here, I think, is if you do my play and he rolls a 4 something, 4-6, 4-1 or something, and then I don't jump, he gets a good cube in anyways. So in that sense, I'm kind of dead when he enters anyways, assuming I don't roll great afterwards. So you do this, I'm kind of dead if he enters also. So the fact that there's this upcoming cube kind of makes these plays close. Now he's going to be too good a lot if he hits here, but that just means part of what that means is he doesn't get any value from the cube, you know. I see. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Anyway, they do eventually escape, and then I hit him with a 1-3 here. Yeah, I guess it's what's going on here? I guess it's safer to hit here. Safer long term to hit because you might enter with a 6 and get out of your hair. So I guess that's the main thing going on. It also wins more gammons. It's always not clear to me like whether hitting or ripping 2 guys wins more gammons. Hitting often does, but not always. Oh, hey, Paul. Good to see you. Oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just mostly doing my thing. I mean, I haven't tried to promote the channel at all. I just sort of like, I'm playing anyway, so I might as well stream. It's fun and it's fun chatting with people. Oh, and I hope people get stuff out of it. Trying to promote the game. But anyways, I go up 4-zip. And then this game had some tough checker plays, right? This, I guess, is pretty clear. You come in and you hit. And then you prefer the 5 to the 3, except it gives up the 8-point and leaves a 6 shot out there. So that's why I made the 3-point. Also, the builder on the 11 is more powerful when the 5 point's open. So you say, so sometimes if your opponent has cube access, you can do some crazy plays because your opponent will just cash if they draw well anyways, right? Yeah, I think that's sort of what that's sort of along the lines of what I was thinking when we saw that weird shot leaving play. I try to think of like a clearer example. I'm not sure I can come up with one on the fly. But you're right. Like a lot of times, like he's going to enter anyway. If he's going to win when he enters anyways. Oh, I know the example. This sort of comes up a lot. Like a lot of times, like you're trying to like block the I guess this isn't going to be a very cubeful thing, but a lot of times when I think about in that way, it's like, he's got one checker back. He's like threatening to escape, and he kind of wins after he does escape. So maybe can't come up with a position on the fly, but you oftentimes. My point is like oftentimes you're kind of slotting the 7 points. Because like a 6s are kind of going to win anyways. And so you want to maximize on the rolls that don't roll a 6 because the 6s are sort of powerful either way. This probably isn't a great example because maybe there's not a lot of good options here. But I am often thinking in those terms where like, okay, in a sense it's like duplication. I think. Like the 6s are going to be good anyway, so making them like a little bit more good for him, especially if the 6s are like completely winning, like you don't lose out that much. Whereas if he doesn't roll a 6, you like the crazy shot leaving play. Yeah, that's often true. Yeah. The way I think about that is oftentimes when you have the cube, you want to reduce volatility. So the equity swings a little slowly. So you're more likely to land on a valuable cube that way. And as you say, when the opponent, it's the opposite is often true when the opponent owns a cube. You want to make the crazy play where the equity is going to swing wildly, and the opponent is less likely to land on a very valuable cube there. Now, that's not always the case, though. There's special cases where you actually do want to make like a crazy hitting play with cube access, because the dances lead to an efficient cube. You know, so you got to kind of got to investigate every situation as it comes. But basically, you're not trying to make a checker play that wins the game when you have cube access. You're trying to make a checker play that's likely to land on an efficient cube. You know, an efficient cube. One example I remember giving on some forum somewhere is there's a position like there's a position like 5-1 here, say. You could pick and pass if you want, play completely safely, and that kind of wins the game if you have cube access, because on the dances you get to cash the game in, or maybe it's a take. It might actually be a take, but you at least get an efficient cube in. You at least get like a powerful cube in. So with cube access, picking and passing is at least I guess maybe you're not getting a great cube in. Like I expected picking and passing to be right by good margin, but it's close. Okay, so it might actually be right. The computer might be wrong here, but let's say the opponent's position's a little weaker. No, still not. Let's say your position's a little stronger. Okay, so this will be a good example. You pick and pass, he dances, you get a good cube in with cube access, right? Right. But you have more builders in the zone, or his position's a little weaker. It's still sort of fine. Yeah. Oh yeah. You're right. Maybe a better example is on the 3 point, say. Right. Yeah. So this is a better example. Picking and passing wins the game on the dances, right? Or at least you get in an efficient cube. It's maybe a take here, maybe a pass here on a rollout, but you're getting good value from the cube by offering this double where the guy has a close take pass decision. If you've already doubled though, now you have to win the game, right? You can't just pick and pass and then win the game that way. You have to complete it. Now leaving the point slotted, maybe it's wrong, but it's going to be closer at least. On a 5-1, in fact, you do leave it slotted, right? It's kind of a big swing. Right here, leaving the point slotted like this is right by 0.05 or 0.06. Cube on black side of the board, it's a blunder to leave it slotted. So you're seeing this big swing on just like cube efficiency arguments. Isn't that interesting? And so there's several ways to think about this, but the way I think about this is like I'm trying to land on an efficient cube. I'm not trying to land on like a position that's going to give me 100% wins when I have cube access. Right, so you would have thought that if an opponent had the blot in the board, I wouldn't mind leaving the point slotted. Yeah. Yeah, no, that is a factor for sure. It's an argument for leaving the point slotted, but the cube arguments are sort of stronger here. I think even with the blot. Right. Still, you're right though. You can't leave it slotted with the blot. Maybe you're playing on in some cases. I don't know. So yeah, that's sort of a quintessential example where you sort of need to think about catering your checker plays to the upcoming cube decisions. So in some sense, it's sort of the opposite. The 2-2 play that we looked at. Um, we're leaving the thing slotted wasn't too bad because the other guy was going to get an efficient cube when he doesn't hit you anyways. Yeah, the tough decisions, and as we saw, it depends on the cube position a lot. But anyways, let's go back to the match. Okay, so this is where we were. So 2-1. He makes a good play. 3-3. I make the 3 points. Okay, good. This is fairly close. I was sort of lost here. I mean, my play's probably a real error hitting. Just too many shots, 5s and 6s back at me. So the computer just pretty reasonably wants to leave fewer shots, wants to lock up a good point here. So lock up a good point somewhere. In fact, if it hits, it wants to play 22 to 20. Which I did think about it, but I sort of liked after my play that 6-5 was duplicated, like 6-5 hits in both places. And I didn't think stepping up 22 to 20 was a big deal. Okay, so here, yeah, I wish. Well, so maybe it's big error so far. So 5-2. So yeah, you make the 11 because that's like the only good thing you can do. I did actually think about 21 to 16 here after making the 11, which is the computer's choice. I didn't like how I left him diverse though, right? 4s to hit in the outfield, 6s and 3s to hit on my side of the board. If something was duplicated, I would have done that play. So that's why I did what I did. I guess I'm pretty exposed to being batted around everywhere though. I think he's pretty happy to hit inside a lot like he did correctly. All right, 4-3. Okay, this one's fairly clear. I thought a little bit about locking up the 22 and the 2. Yeah, it just didn't. It looked like he's making his 4-point, and then I don't have that big of an edge. So my play did look like it gave me a better chance to have a solid edge next turn. But he rolls well. 6-4. Okay, for doubled money, say this would probably be closer because hitting twice wins more gammons. But yeah, I didn't love giving up my 11 pointed for jumping to do this tactical thing that may not work in any real way. But I don't know, it's not crazy to hit twice there. Yeah, I like any option here, but I'm up in the race, so I try to get the backmen going, like so. Sort of acceptable risk. Okay, slot the 5, not too dangerous. Good when I get away with it. Yeah, so I guess you don't run here. Because he's got pretty potent hit stuff here, and I'm not up in the race a bunch, so running would be quite wrong. Here his hit stuff isn't that potent, so I run even though the race is close. And the computer likes it. Everything else is sort of destructive, and there's like some decently productive play on my side of the board. It would probably be better than running when the race is this close. Alright, so I get out of there, try to get the other guy out of there. It's quite bad when it doesn't work, so the computer doesn't mind playing 13 to 4 either here. Again, the race isn't super great for me. If I was up more in the race, pretty sure 20 to 11 would be right. Anyways, I finally got to play safe. Does not like making the 11 here. Well, it wouldn't be too bad to do this. I just didn't like the position of these checkers. Like the 4-point's going to stay open, right? And I'm all stripped in the outfield. So my play is a bit more flexible. Okay, yeah, here it's close. Interesting. So after the roll, I'm up 6 pips. But he's on roll. So in that sense, the race is pretty close. Like I'm up, maybe I'm up a little bit because being on roll is sort of worth 4 pips. On the other hand, my timing race to be better than his timing a little bit because he has the further back point, right? He has the 18 point, I have the 13 point. So if I do something like my play, I think he's going to have to make some big concession earlier than me on average because of this 13 versus 18 thing. But yeah, it's pretty close though, right? Like he brings 2 guys in. I'm already kind of in danger of breaking my 8 point or breaking my board. So the timing situation isn't that clear, I guess. Turns out it's pretty close between just doing the normal thing, clearing the mid, and doing my play. I guess my play is a little bad for the race, right? I'm going deep with this checker. I might have to go deep with other checkers, whereas this keeps things pretty efficient. So it turns out the arguments are pretty close. If I was just like down 5 pips instead of 6, I mean, maybe I would have been able to find the. If I was up 5 pips instead of 6, maybe I would have done the other one even. Anyways, I'm keeping my 8 points for a turn, anyways. Just because I don't want to blot with like 6, 6-2 for instance. So I save my 8 points so I can absorb a number like 6-2. 6-1 is still going to be a shot. Say you do this, any 6 but 6-6 is a shot. So I do this, and I do it on the next turn too, which the computer doesn't quite like because it's getting a little too destructive on the home front. So the computer does this despite the fact that almost all the 6s will blot for me next turn. And he still has some timing of his own. But my play's not too bad. 5-3. Okay, now I have to break. I stall. I build a board in case he hits me. It does. But I just lose the race, so 4-1. Good double, good take. All right, good. Nothing else here. This is sometimes splitting with a 2 and then you roll like a 6-2. I think sometimes it's right to run into the outfield as opposed to making the bad anchor and slotting something. But I didn't like coming out into a double shot here. So I just sort of do the normal thing, what I consider the normal thing. All right, no, this is good too. Yeah, honestly, I wasn't sure between what I did, making a good point and stacking the heavy points, playing completely safely, but your board's in disarray, or like trying to contain the back checker by hitting. I probably would have done this if the distribution in the outfield is better, but I didn't like 2 guys here and 5 guys here. All right, this looks fairly clear. Okay, run to the mid just because there's nothing else. He slots because I guess he has to leave me a shot there. All right, here it clears the 11, but everything you can keep the 11. It's all fairly close. I'm sorry, it clears the 13 last turn. Yeah, here again it clears the 13, but it's all very close. Like the problem with my play, and it is something you want to watch out for sometimes, is that aces are kind of bad, especially 6-1. If I roll a 6-1 in the next roll, I got to make some big concession somewhere. Well, in that case, maybe running's okay. But even stuff like 4-1, 3-1 sort of compromises the board somewhat. Not so bad because I do have the spare on the 2 points. All right, 13-6. What did I do? 13-11, 6-1. And what? This versus this versus this. I guess this is best for the race. You could still win a race here. My play, I guess, is kind of bad for the race. Playing 6-1. So it keeps the anchor the longest, though. Okay, so this plays fine. Splitting is maybe slightly better for the win, maybe not. Definitely gets gammon more. Yeah. Yeah, so that's sort of why my play is okay, I think, because I have the spare on the two there. So I can absorb a lot of the ones okay. Okay, so I don't make the gammonish play at the score where I really hate to be gammons. And then I just lose the race by a couple pips. Okay, pretty standard here. Okay, yeah, it does like making the 4 here. Second best apparently is hitting on the 15 and hitting on the 4, which I did consider. I just thought it's sort of unlikely. I mean, I get hit back and I'm really unhappy, and I don't have my 4 point. And even when he just enters 2 without hitting it, you know, it's still a little hard to bring it home. So that's why I decided to lock up the, just lock up the good asset. Okay, hit him twice. Yeah, this is, I guess, yeah, for money play, it might be okay to do this because it wins more gammons. But yeah, without gammons helping me, the computer does agree with this solid play. Yeah, I do notice. Yeah, the computers do like putting those builders into use when they're like kind of on the low points or like awkwardly placed. Like it could be on the 4 point, right? And then like it could be like you could play like an ace productively 4 to 3 or something. If like say the 5 points open, it's kind of like an awkward builder on the 4. And the computer does love putting those things into play because it goes from like a bad spot to like a useful spot. Oh, the 6-3, yeah. So the 5-1, okay, it's probably next turn. Yeah, that maybe that's one of my errors. Well, we'll see what the computer says. But yeah, here it likes the solid play at the score anyways. Okay, he rolls 6-3, and then yeah, you're right. Making the 7 is worth it here. You're paying. I think he's hitting with all 5s, and maybe 6-1 also. If you make the 7. But yeah, as you were thinking, it's a much easier ride home if you get away with this versus, say, my play or this sort of Swiss cheesy position out here. And because White's board isn't together yet, the computer is, and Chaba is saying it's worth the risk to do this. Yeah, this would be sort of a nice play. I believe I did consider it, but I didn't think it was quite worth the shots. Now, if he had a slightly better position, maybe even if you play 8-7 here, that might actually swing the play. We can take a look at that, or at least it's closer. No, somehow it's not any closer. It's a little closer maybe. So how good does White's position have to be before you don't make the 7 points? Here, his position has to be pretty strong before the computer doesn't like making the 7 point. That's funny. I guess it's just like a lot easier. It's a lot easier ride home, I think, is what we're seeing if you make the 7 and get away with it. 10-4, maybe that's numerology. That's funny. No. Yeah, as you know, the 10 and 4 are bad together because they're 6 apart from one another, and so they don't form the same. They don't form 2 points of the same 6 prime. So points do tend to go down in value when they're 6 apart from one another. I guess this is the final game. Yeah, it was this play. Everything matters. Yeah, here maybe it doesn't matter that much because it's not like you're building a prime, you know. You're just mostly trying to come home safely. So in that sense, maybe it's not so bad to have the checker six, to have the point six apart. Oh, 4-1. Yeah, you can make again, like you can make the 9 point here. It's similar arguments, right? Easier ride home when missed. But his board's a little more together now, and it's still like pretty hard to bring this home when missed because of all these points you have to clear. So sort of similar stuff going on here. It's just the arguments are like a little different. The arguments are a little stronger for playing safely because you don't gain as much when you get missed, and his board's a little stronger. Oh, okay. Here's the biggest error of the day. I did consider this. It's 20 shots. You're leaving a double shot if you make the right play. But again, it's easiest ride home when missed because you cleared that tough point to clear. You cleared the midpoint, and his board, and there's a blot in his board, so you're not always paying full price of the hits. So this does look pretty reasonable. So what does my play do? Maybe I'm not saving that many shots actually. Yeah, that's probably a bad play. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. This is like, I'm only saving 2 shots for this play. This is a pretty bad play, I guess. You know, this is 18 shots, I think. It's like the sevens are weirdly, are sort of diverse, I guess, because all 4 sevens that don't contain a 5 do 2 hits. So you have 15 fives, right? Direct 5s plus 2, 3, 4, 1 plus 4, 3, 6, 1 that hits. So yeah, I'm only saving 2 shots by doing this, and I'm left with the problem of the midpoint to clear. So I guess I should have realized this was wrong. Yeah, 2 shots. Yeah, if I counted the shots, I would have done something different, I think. I do get one thing I did like about this though is my ace point is locked up, so when there's an exchange of hits, he hits me, I hit him back. My position's a little more sound than if you do the right play. Also, 13-2 is better than my play by a good margin, which I don't know if I considered this. So let's see, this is 11. So there's only, there's 4 8s that hits. So this is 15 plus 6, 4. This is also 18 shots. But it's harder to, so I guess it's a little harder to clean up when missed. I don't know. This looks like it should be considerably worse than this, but it's not for some reason. All right, I make a tactical strike here with all the blots in white's position. All right, this was a tough one for me. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Apparently, the computer wants to just not leave any direct shots. Lock up the 4-point board. Hope he dances or enters with an unproductive number, and then black gets to escape or hit next turn or both. My play is apparently second best, so I hit him and make the 8 points. I do this. Obviously, I'm leaving a direct shot, but I'm putting the second guy up on the bar, so even if he just enters 1, he can't really do all that. He's not doing much. Unless he rolls like a tremendous 3-3-2-2-5-5 or something. But all 3s are pretty great for him. Not that great because he got the blots in his board. So that's kind of why I did that. And then what about 13? I thought 13-10, 3-1 would be a play too. But it's going to be kind of a long game, so killing that checker is kind of a big problem, I guess. Playing 3-1. Oh, is it 13-7, 13-10, 4-2? The play that you make if you know he's dancing. Still a favorite after that one. It's pretty nice to slot 4 to 2 if you get away with it. But yeah, I'm damning with faint praise. All right, so yeah, this is pretty clear. Okay, put it together. Yeah, my play is fine. 18 to 14 is better. Oh yeah, I think actually this is better. The problem with my play, I jumped at it because I liked 8 to 6, but 4 plays badly here. So that's the one problem with my play. So 18 to 14 is probably a better play here. I guess 8 to 6 isn't that important. Or this, or this. It's funny, I saw 8 to 6 was sort of a good use of that, of 2 of them, and then I just looked around for the other 2 without considering other options. Yeah, so this is a little bit of a cute play. You kind of want to understand this play because it comes up a lot. So there's only two legal plays, right? My play leaves 4 blot numbers, 6, 1, 5, 1. You count each as 2 because they're non-doubles. They happen 2 out of 36. The other play only leaves 2 blot numbers, a 6, 5. This is actually the safer play long term, though. It's called double jeopardy, right? Say you do the quote unquote safer play, to play the safer next turn. Yeah, you only have 2 blot numbers, but like if you roll a number like 5, 4 or something, you're going to be left with the 4 blot numbers next roll. So it's kind of like you're paying the blot numbers twice. Meanwhile, if you make the long-term safer play, you roll a number like 5, 4, you've cleared that point for good. So it's safer down the line. Now, often, despite that, often you do actually want to do this if like the gammon, because it wins more gammon sometimes. And the difference in long-term safety is only a little bit. Or if you're worried, you might be also worried about losing the race. But here, I'm not worried about the gammon because of the score. I'm not worried about losing the race because he has 1,000,000 men back. So mostly what I care about is long-term safety. So that's why this play is right here, but it's not. It's often going to be right to go the other way. Yeah, I mean it would, in a lot of other situations it would be right to rip. Like I'm gonna put one up. Doubled money is a very common situation. I don't know, like you want to rip twice here because it wins more gammons, I think. I mean, for money. Yeah. So like usually, I would say like usually this is right. This type of play is right, but you can see even from the numbers here, the wrong play does win more. It just doesn't win as many gammons because it gets hit less. It gets hit less long term. But again, only by a little bit. So it's pretty close. It's pretty close the match position, but this theme comes up fairly frequently. And so it is sort of important to understand what's going on there. Like I'm sure it's come up, I don't know, once a month for me, maybe once every couple months for me. Probably even more than that actually. But I play a fair amount too. But so anyways, I think that was the last real decision. 2-1, yeah, 6-2. See, I get to clear the point for good, and then I'm mostly home free there. I don't have to pay. I only have to pay the blot numbers once, and it's sort of just average stuff going on. Third checker on the 5. Yeah, let me take a look. So you were thinking like the money position. Okay, so here, this is the position we kind of looked at, right? Even though it is pretty bad to be hit, you do. Sorry, let me get the score right. Even though it is pretty bad to be hit, it's worth ripping here for the extra gammons. So you were thinking like this, say, where the gammon is sort of more locked up if you don't get hit. But the gammon is still a little bit in doubt. So I would still rip twice here, despite the extra long-term risk. Again, because it's just a little bit of risk, and I think ripping 2 does win more gammons. But it is, I think it is going to be closer. Yeah, it's quite close. But yeah, like as you point out, it matters, right? Because here you play safer. Because now the gammon is very likely if you don't get hit. So there's a bigger premium on playing safe here. In fact, playing the safer long-term play, the computer says it actually wins more gammons than the ripping 2 play. Because the gammon is so well locked up if you don't get hit. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so it's important to think about this stuff correctly, and all the factors I mentioned. It's pretty much all the factors involved, I think. I guess it does get a little trickier if I think sometimes it comes up again, like in a position like this, 6-3 here maybe. Yes, it's similar stuff here, except the blot numbers are a little different. Right, like it's 6 blot numbers either way now. So in the other position, by being more aggressive with the bear up, by ripping 2 checkers, there was like 2 vigs to it. 1, you were getting an extra checker off, and 2, you were reducing the immediate blot numbers by ripping 2. So here you're not actually reducing the immediate blot numbers by ripping 2, because I believe it's 6 blot numbers regardless of your play. So I guess you have more reason to like strip the top point here based on the blot numbers. But again, the gamma's like fairly close, so you might want to rip 2 anyways. Let's see what the computer does here. Yeah, here's right on the border. But they just mentioned this because it's important. It's important to recognize the difference in blot numbers when you're thinking about this play versus the ones we're looking at. You know. Anyways, hope that was instructive. I'm actually going to sign off now. It's got some house stuff to do this afternoon. A 3 on the 5, none on the bar. I see. Yeah, we can take a quick look at it. Let's go back. So you were saying like none on the bar, something like this for doubled money. Right. Yeah, same arguments I think sort of apply. I mean, the gammon's a little less likely now, but you can still slime out a gammon here at least if you rip 2. So this strikes me as fairly close. I guess you could also lose the race here, which argues for ripping 2, but that's pretty remote. Yeah, I think ripping 2 loses. I think ripping 2 doesn't win as much, but it might be right because it wins slightly more gammon still. I think. I believe it's close though. Okay, so no, it's not that close. 0.03. Yeah, it's exactly what I said. Yeah, ripping 2 wins 4% more gammons and only loses a fraction of a percent more games. Again, because the extra risk long term is pretty slight. Yeah. It turns out it's still fairly gammonish. right? 16% versus 12%. But like here you're not, like here, here's another situation. Like here you're not really winning a gammon by ripping 2, but you're a little worried about losing the race also. So maybe you rip 2 for like for racing reasons here. Like here, yeah, here ripping 2, I guess ripping 2 still does win slightly more gammons, but the win percentage is very close here. Here you rip 2 because he's gone next turn, so you often don't have to pay the double jeopardy anyways. Like he's forced to run with 6s and big doubles, and he might be running with a 5-4 anyways. Right, so you're ripping twice for like a different reason here. Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, glad. Yeah, thanks for chatting. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Glad you got something out of this. And I will see you next time.